Hey, welcome everyone. It's Pat Mitchell here with TrickTrades. I want to do a quick video lesson on some gap ups and gap downs and what to watch for. I really think that this information is going to be pretty useful. So a couple trades I took today: RMD, RACE, and EDU. RMD was the very first trade I took today, and you can see that this gapped up. This gapped up after hours actually yesterday, and then once pre-market um, kind of hit here this morning. I mean, it just kind of chopped. It didn't really have any type of, as I like to say, didn't have the nuts to kind of test highs of after hours. It did finally start grinding up more so towards the bell, and that's what I like seeing. Okay, so let's go over quickly to the daily. So you can see here from where it closed the previous day at 87.61, it gapped up and opened up 11 and a half points. That's a pretty big gap, right? So how do you handle that? What's your best bet? Odds are it's going to pull back on profit taking. Now put yourself in the majority of these traders' shoes, okay? If you were involved in this trade, now God only knows where they got in from. Most likely they got in on the gap up, then the pullback, and now they're trying to swing it. And this is, it's slowly grinding up, slowly grinding up, slowly grinding up. Kind of came up to test these highs and then rejected. And, maybe they were holding on for a little bit longer. And then they wake up in the morning to a big gap up. They're ecstatic. They couldn't be happier. They're going to take some profits, right? Because like I said, put yourself in their shoes. You need to start doing that. I'm not saying act like a sheep and follow blindly, but you need to start thinking what the sheep would do, what the masses would do. Okay, and that's what they would do. They're gonna pull some profits. Okay, so what happens now when this market opens up? Okay, now you got to remember, some of these people here have a stop loss. Okay, they're going to have some sort of a stop loss, especially the shorts. They will, because it started pulling back, they're going to have a stop loss set at probably at 90, let's say, right? That's their cut and run type of area. So they have this stop loss in place. And a lot of swing traders, they don't watch market open or anything like that. They're busy. Short or long, they just, a lot of people just don't pay attention, to be honest. So when this opens up now, let me get zoomed in. So when this opens up, as soon as the market opens, you get that big power candle. Okay, those are stop losses blowing off, right? That's why you'll also see a big increase in volume. It's not so much like everyone's sitting around their computer and is like hitting buttons right off the hop and getting in or whatever. This is a lot of, like, that's why you'll see when stocks gap up, you'll get that quick pop. It's short cover getting blasted off from stop losses. So what do you watch for then? If this can't continue and you see these big wicks, that means it's getting hammered back down. People are selling into that. Now the profit taking begins. Okay, so with that, as soon as I saw that, I grabbed it short and basically just risked off of highs, and that's it. That's all you guys can do. Take the trade, risk off a level, which is high of day, and milk the cow, right? So with a setup like this, and I say this at tricktrades.com all the time, don't mess around. In and out, guys. Just get in, get out. Um, don't hold. Like, this type of setup is not an all-day short type of hold, okay? So off of this, as soon as it pulled back, and I called this out in the room that it was starting to hold the 50, it was right into the 50 EMA. There's a reason why I use the 50 EMA on the 1 minute chart. It works as support and resistance very, very well, and you'll see it in the next stock as well. So as soon as it started holding, as soon as it came down to this area, I took off the majority of my position. Now, I'm going to hold the rest to kind of see what happens. As soon as I saw this bounce like this, I just said, screw it, I'm going to get out. And I got out the rest, and I'll wait for another setup. Now, you can look at this and you can say, well, why didn't you take it long? Because I wasn't looking for a long trade. I don't really make it a habit to go long on overextended plays. I will go long on something that's just coming out of consolidation or bouncing. I'm not looking to go long on a stock that gapped up, you know, 11 and a half points. It's just not my style. It's not my thing. I don't feel comfortable in the trade. So what did I do next? Like I said in a previous free video lesson, I sat back, I relaxed, I let this thing go nuts, and I waited for the backside. Right here, took it short, right at the retest. It didn't have, I'll get zoomed in so you guys can really see here. Right? You see how, and then as soon as you just risk off of the previous high. So I had about 40-cent risk on a $100 stock, which isn't that much. And I took it off because I was just about to take off to go into town. I pulled some profits. Oops, sorry guys. I pulled some profits into the 50 EMA, which that's what I always, I always do. It came up and I called it out that it's developing its trend. And then as it broke the 50, I took some more, took a few more off, and then it popped back up, held the trend, but then it started holding the 50, and I was just about to take off for the day to go head to town, and so I took off the trade. Now, obviously, guys, in hindsight, yeah, I mean, from my entry down to where it closed, it was 4 points. But you know what? I'm not going to complain. So off of my couple of trades, I got 2.5 points there, and then roughly a point. We'll call it a point and a half. We'll call it roughly a point and a half. Guys, am I gonna complain with that? 2.5 and 1.5? No way, man. I'm gonna be really happy with that. So that was RMD. Don't you see these guys and say, oh well, why didn't you take it long? That was the better trade because I wasn't watching long. God damn it. Some of these people you got to deal with, man. They're ramrods. So we'll go over EDU. So that RMD was the gap up. Now the gap down on EDU. So EDU has been gapping down, gapping down. Now it's underneath the moving averages. Now you use the 50 EMA as a guide for it to pop into, not bounce out off of. This type of setup's really, really nice. Kind of get zoomed in here. So you can see I waited for it to pull back. It ramped up. You can see how it rejected this 50 EMA really, really nicely. So as soon as it settled down a bit, I got short. This doesn't scare me. These types of candles, they don't scare me and they shouldn't scare you. As long as it doesn't break the 50 EMA with some sort of authority, you're good to go. And then it just kind of chopped. It was a little hairy there. It's a pretty volatile stock, right? I know there's a fellow in the room, he got stopped out on this candle. It's like, yeah, it can kind of freak you out, right? But you gotta relax. It's a big candle, right? So I mean that's over 50 cents. It's a pretty big candle, right? I get it. But you gotta have patience in these trades. So with EDU, it came down, then it broke. I did cover up most into the retest, like the test of these lows. So I covered off most, and then I ended up taking off most of the trade right in this area. Because again, I wasn't going to be sticking around overly long. Huge miss, by the way, guys. From my entry down to rough lows was about 7 points. So it could have been a massive trade, but it wasn't. And you can't beat your head against the wall. Who cares? I mean, from my entry to where I took it off, it was still 2.5 points. So it's like, who cares, right? You can't get overly greedy. If you always want the top and the bottom, guys, if somebody's telling you that they short the top and cover the bottom on each and every trade, run for the hills. The guy's lying to you, and he's most likely trading off of his cell phone. These guys are hilarious. So there's that, and then race. Race was a nice one. Another gap down, stayed underneath the moving averages. This showed up off of our VWAP slap scanner. I took the trade right at the VWAP. The spreads were a little gnarly, so obviously my entry wasn't right at the VWAP, but I was fine with it. I was basically risking if the actual price got a little bit over the 120 area, I would have got out, and this thing bled all day. So from my entry down to lows was a buck 50, and with me I ended up covering up. It was right on this. You see this wash candle here. As soon as I saw that towards the end of the day, I was okay. I'm good. I'll take that because it'll most likely bounce. It ended up pulling back some more and then bouncing, but yeah, very very happy with the trade. Can't really complain with that. Took a few other trades in the room, but this was the video lesson I wanted to show is how if they gap up and it'll most likely bounce off of and continue up off the 50 EMA, and on the gap down how they come into the 50 and then they keep coming down lower. So I hope you guys use this information to your benefit, and make sure, like I said, guys, like, share, and subscribe. And join us at TrickTrades.com. If you want to learn how to catch trades like this, and I was talking with a fellow that signed up last night, he goes, you make it sound so easy, and I will never tell you trading is easy because it's not. It's one of the most difficult things you'll ever have to do. But here's the thing, guys. There are certain setups that if you stick to it, it becomes easier, and you'll be able to capitalize hard on these situations and these setups. Just want to give a shout out to my right hand man, Noah, moderator at TrickTrades Chat. He's doing a hell of a job. I've got lots of good help at TrickTrades. Got quite a few moderators, developing a really good team. Like I've said in a previous video lesson, that TrickTrades has some stuff coming up that I'm telling you, it's never been done before. And I know I keep going on and teasing you guys, but I'm telling you, wait for an announcement coming up in the very near future. The things we're doing at TrickTrades, they've never been attempted because, like I said, people don't have the balls to do what I'm about to do. And I'm excited to bring it to you guys. So make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Like I said, I want to see those thumbs ups getting hit on these YouTube lessons. You guys want free content? That's all I'm asking for, guys. That's all I'm asking for is give a thumbs up, give a like, give a share, and make sure to subscribe. Down below, right in this area, you'll see the little heart button. Make sure you hit it. Thanks, guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Adios.